our service today, the congregation will sing hymn number 85, Our Firm Foundation, and after that, Brother Steve Whitlock will give our opening prayer.
Our most gracious Father in heaven, we come before Thee in prayer this time, thankful for this day. We're grateful we can all be here and remember our friend John Neely. We're grateful for the years and time that we had with him and for his great spirit, the courage that he has shown these last year of his life and throughout his life. We're grateful for all the many blessings that Thou hast given us. We're grateful for this beautiful world we have. We're grateful for the gospel and all that Thou hast given us. We ask now that we might continue to remember John and try to live as he has lived. And we're grateful for all that we have. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Iris, Steve. I have a eulogy here, but it's not a typical eulogy because it's written by her family. So it gives you a little more information than maybe it's one out of the newspaper would. So this is the family's eulogy of John. John Neely entered this world on May 30th, 1941. His mother always said that they held up a Memorial Day parade just for him. Did they do that really?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but lived in Lower Marion Township outside the big city limits. His father, Richard Winston Neely, was the first Jewish-born Neely from a family that immigrated from Ireland in the 1890s. His father worked in the auto car plant, where he supervised the building of heavy trucks. During World War II, the plant supplied 50,000 heavy-duty trucks to the military. John was very proud of his dad's service. His mother, Helen Maxwell, was from proud German Quaker stock that had been in America for generations. John was the fourth child in the Neely family. He had an older brother, Dick, a sister Nancy, and a brother, Bill. They were very close. One of their favorite tricks was to get castor oil from their mother and then head immediately out in the yard and get rid of it as soon as possible. If you've ever drank that, you would know why. John was active in sports during junior high school. He has a picture over here playing football. He played football and his number was 13. He always called it his lucky number. And he also wrestled. On one trip, his team went to New York where they were to wrestle at the school for the blind. At first, he felt sorry for those kids, but not after he had been pinned in no time flat. Work was nothing foreign to John. He actually started working at about the age 12, digging ditches with adults. From there, he moved to the stable, taking care of horses. He had an early morning newspaper route with his brother. Eventually, he became a real-life soda jerk at a drugstore where they did everything the old-fashioned way. I've been to those, actually. He was told that he could eat all the ice cream he wanted to, but after 3 days, he had all he wanted. He didn't eat anymore. His next job took him to a large department store where his main goal was to buy his mother a washing machine and a dryer. She had been using a wringing washer and was thrilled with the modern machines. John then moved on to work in the acting market. This was all done while he was in high school. On the side, he volunteered and drove an ambulance. He was also a volunteer firefighter for the community. He never shied away from work of any sort. After high school, John was accepted into the Pennsylvania State Police Academy and then was hired in Lower Marion Township as a patrolman. The stories he could tell about being a policeman would be too many to handle here today. I'm sure that's true. It was during this time that John met a lovely young nurse, Phyllis Pearson. They were married on Valentine's Day, 1964. Children followed, first Leslie Beth and then David Edward. They had a beautiful family. In the 1970s, the family moved to California. As the years passed, the family broke apart. John began driving for Greyhound bus lines, a position he held for 13 years. I almost wish he hadn't done that, Marilyn. You knew John. He loved telling those Greyhound bus driver stories. He had many exciting things, which I can testify to, happened to him as a driver. He absolutely loved doing tour groups from Australia. He took them to many interesting places, including the Grand Canyon in Las Vegas. And once when they had some extra time, his group ended up in St. George, Utah, where they took Australians to St. George Temple Grounds for a tour. In 1985, John was introduced to Marilyn Jones by Bishop Wilford Wiseman. They were married that same year. In 1986, John and Marilyn moved to Alma, Arkansas. They had the choices of Little Rock, Muskogee, Oklahoma City, and Fort Stith. They picked Alma from off the map and have never regretted their choice. In November that year, Jacqueline was born. Marilyn's parents moved back to Alma also. Marilyn's dad, Raymond Jones, died in 1991, and a few months later, Mark joined the family. By this time, John was working for the U.S. Federal Court System as a Special Deputy U.S. Marshal, Court Security Officer. He loved this job and the people he worked with, and again, the stories are too numerous to recount. In 1994, John and Marilyn moved to Cave City, Arkansas, where they purchased a hardware and feed store. Here, he was in his element. He grew to love the people of Cave City. Word soon got around that he would open at night for no charge. Since many people were in poultry-related businesses, he had many customers and the store proved successful. The homesick Neelys decided to return to Alma, Arkansas, which truly was home. John drove for Tyson, Fort Smith Transit, and Penske. After officially retiring, John had the opportunity to return to work at the Alma Public Schools. After 1 week, he commented that it might be the shortest career he ever had, but he stuck with it and actually started, did he really, to enjoy being with the students. He received cards at the end of the year, as many school personnel do. The interesting thing is that some of these loving cards were signed from your bad students. Oh boy, I would have been one of those, I'm afraid. He missed leaving them and the people he worked with more than words can say. His goal was always to get back to driving a bus. Pancreatic cancer took John and Marilyn to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. After undergoing chemotherapy and radiation, he learned that the cancer was spreading. His goal was to keep fighting. He did not want to leave this earth life just yet. John was so proud of having you could sum up John's life, it would be with these words. He loved his family fiercely. He had a special great love for brothers and sisters. He loved serving the church and serving our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He did love to travel throughout the forts in his take and participate with members there. He loved to go to the temple. And believe it or not, and I believe it, Marilyn, he actually enjoyed church meetings of any kind. It really hurt when he was not able to attend church. He lived for Sundays, but was willing to serve any day of the week. John died after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. He fought for as long as he could. That he did. I've called John on several occasions. John, I need you to go with me. We need to give a priesthood blessing. We need to see someone who's sick. His reply was usually, I'll be ready in 10 minutes. And he was. John was He was the kind of person that you'd like to see your kids grow up to be. He was a good person. I never heard him say a bad thing about anybody. Now, he probably did sometime, but I never heard it. He was always positive. We visited with him a couple of Wednesdays ago when he was really sick. We came in, we talked with him, and in about 1 minute he was telling us bus driving stories, and he was in a really good mood. He laughed most of the time that we were there. And I remember thinking as I left, I'm not sure that I've had that kind of courage, because I know that he's really sick, but he had a smile on his face nearly the whole time that we were there. So, I thank God for people like him and for him. I say this in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. We'll now hear a special musical number by Rebecca Myers and Corey McLaughlin. I'm just going to announce the rest of the program. After this musical number, we'll hear a talk from Brother Keith Tisworth, and then another special musical number. Then we'll have a poem, Footprints in the Sand, by